All right, enough Liga. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gab.
Manchester City have to postpone their title celebrations after losing at home to Chelsea 2-1. Jules, they made 9 changes, while Thomas Tuchel made 5 changes and then moved 2 other guys around. In the grand scheme of things, this means very little, right?
Does it?
Well,
I don't know.
apart from the 3 points that Chelsea got.
Yeah, but I asked Thomas Tuchel about, could this have some sort of an impact on the final, even a little one anyways? Well, it's not a disadvantage, that's for sure. Then I asked the same question to Benjamin Mendy, and he goes, nah, it's not. It doesn't matter at all.
You think the City players think like, oh, you think the Chelsea players, oh yeah, look, we beat them twice now. Because, these are really the same dudes.
No, but maybe you think, okay.
Nathan Ake will be out there. Come on.
No, but maybe you think, okay, they don't like playing against the back 5, they don't like playing against us, they don't like the way we get the ball out from the back.
They don't like playing against players who aren't as good as the players who are the regulars.
What's true, though, in the 2 wins that Chelsea had against City this season, City never had their strongest team and not the team that would play in the final. I give you that. So we'll see.
And City still outplayed them for most of the game.
Maybe in the first half, not in the second half. And sticking with City, maybe, Gab, the turning point of that game is the Sergio Aguero Panenka or Panenka. And then they apologized, of course.
Well, in fact, and before that, when Sterling scored, he took the worst touch of his career as well.
Ever. He could even have finished one touch. Like, he didn't even control the ball.
There's obviously a lot going on in his head. Emotions, Panenka leaving after so many years. I just like this. I like the fact that El Kun took to social media and owned it and apologized. And you shouldn't apologize when you make a mistake, but you should apologize when you make a mistake because you do something that's a really bad decision, like the Panenka in this case. So I'm good with that. Milan beat Juve 3-0 in a relegation 6-pointer. If only in a Champions League 6-pointer. Jules, Juve are 5th. We're not going to see Pirlo next year, are we? Not after that performance.
Sure, I think that was an absolute disgrace. I think he was disgraced in the team he picked, the changes he made, waiting 67 minutes for Kulusevski to come on. When you're already behind, Well,
he picked the wrong team.
I thought Kulusevski should have started that game.
In place of McKennie?
Probably. Probably I would have played Kulusevski on one side and Chiesa on the other side. I don't know why McKennie play in a game like this.
Because you're ahead, so you get a draw and you're good.
No, I don't think so. I'm sorry. And then certainly at halftime, you have to change pretty much everything. You're behind, you're not playing well. Cristiano hasn't touched the ball in Milan's box in the whole of the first half. You don't create anything, you don't do anything. And then after the game, he comes out and says, this is a good team, I can take it forward. It's on me, but I can do better than that. No, you can't. This is just too big, too early for him. And maybe he will become a great manager, like Thierry Henry or Frank Lampard. But this is too big, too early. I'm sorry. This is not good enough. 3-0 at home. You know what? Milan had lost the last 9 trips.
Yeah, they had never won at the Juventus Stadium. In the
Ever.
league.
And now you lose 3-0 like you were against Fiorentina. I mean, come on. It's too many. It's just too many. I don't even want to talk about him anymore.
I also thought, the first half, it was played at a bland rhythm and everything. A bit of a fear, I think, from both sides.
Yeah.
Until the goal at the end, where Szczesny, by the way, I know Szczesny saved the penalty, but he also was completely responsible for the first goal. So they cancel each other out. And then in the second half, Juventus just fall apart and get even worse. And I think that's the concern.
As for Milan, as we've just mentioned, Gab, they became the last Super League holdout to take UEFA's deal, leaving Juventus, Real Madrid and Barca on their own. Why did it take them so long to accept that deal?
Well, as reported, by the way, in ESPN by myself and Moises Llorente, UEFA gave the 9 clubs now, including Milan, who were the last to join, they gave them this deal, which I don't say it's a slap on the wrist, but it's certainly not a big financial penalty where they have to commit to staying in the Champions League forever, and they end up, in the end, the fine will work out depending on where they get to something like between maybe 3 and 8 million maximum a year. So it's a good deal. They really thought that UEFA were out of line. That's why they waited. Yeah. They really thought that there's no way that UEFA can ban us and that we have all this legal precedent for it. But I think in the end, they said, I think there was also maybe a little bit of mistrust towards Real Madrid, Juventus, and Barcelona, that one of those clubs might be the one to say, hey, look, we'll take the deal, because once you get to 9, it's dissolved, right? So I think all those factors played into it. Now, we could find out as early as Tuesday, or maybe even later today as we record this on Monday, whether the Champions League final will be moved from Istanbul to England or possibly Portugal, in light of COVID and the fact that there are 2 English sides in the final. Jules, where do you stand on this?
I love Istanbul. I love Turkish people. Everything you want, but this is not practical. Turkey is on the red list in the UK, so you can't travel there.
You might say they're on the red list because the British government decided to put them on the red list.
Yeah, but it's on the red list. So fans could not travel, even for the teams and for the clubs. It would not be easy or practical. I think it makes a lot of sense. And Istanbul can have another final, the next one, and you can move all them down if you want or whatever. But why would you have the final over there if no fans can travel and when you can have even more fans here at Wembley from the two English teams?
I think this is the thing that got really, really politicized, right? Look, I don't have a problem with them if they deem that it should be moved here. There's going to be 4,000 fans from either club.
Yeah.
And they're going to go into a lottery and whatnot to get to the final.
Yeah.
So I know this whole thing, well, it was the English, and you read it in the English papers, right? It was the English fans who stopped the Super League, so now UEFA owe us. Chelsea and Manchester City are global clubs. They have fans from all over the world, as they keep telling us, right?
Yeah.
So there would have still been 4,000 Chelsea fans and 4,000 City fans in Istanbul regardless. The red list doesn't mean that you cannot travel.
No.
It just simply means you have to quarantine. It would have been much harder for those 4,000, but it's already going to be very hard for those fans to get in. I don't like the way this thing has been politicized from a public health perspective. Sure, fine. Let's go ahead and do this. But it kind of bugs me when politicians drop in and kind of try to make hay with this.
Bloomberg are reporting that UEFA are planning to generate more money for clubs via a €6 billion deal with Centricus, which sounds like a Marvel villain, as you rightly put it. Gab. Yeah. I assume it's not, though.
It's not actually Marvel, as far as we know. No. So Centricus came up when there was talk of the FIFA Club World Cup and SoftBank and all this stuff. Essentially, what it is they collect money from investors, and effectively what they do is they tell UEFA, here, UEFA, we'll give you some money up front, and then you'll pay us back over time from out of Champions League revenues as these revenues grow. I'm not sure I like the deal. I appreciate you need some immediate cash to deal with anything, but the only way they should make this is if at the same time they have serious cost control, they have serious financial fair play enforcement, and it's not just kind of like a shield to make the clubs happy. Yeah. That's my main concern here.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.